Before she had her own show, she was just a Padawan. Prepare for launch. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Lunafigs, coming to you once again from the Nerd Den, located high atop Luna Base. And today we are taking a closer look at the Black Series Padawan Ahsoka Tano. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. Let's start out with looking at the packaging. Got the nice rendering on the front. I believe this is one of the last of the plastic-free packaging. I don't know if it's the very last wave, but it is on the way back out. Got some artwork on the side. Gotta say, I'm not really loving that one. I don't know how great of a likeness that is of Ahsoka there. But anyways, checking out the box. Got another rendering there. Got a little blurb about Ahsoka Tano, Padawan, number 13 from the Clone Wars. Got all the boring stuff there. And got the barcode and more boring stuff on the bottom. And then on the side here, plastic-free packaging. And a look at the specs and what comes with the figure. But let's get this thing opened up and check it out. All right, we got Ahsoka out of the package. Start off checking out the lightsabers. And of course, she's got two lightsabers with her. She's a dual wielder. One is the long blade, one's the short blade. The hilts are slightly different. And they have pegs right there. And she does have holes in her belt to peg those in. I'll show you that later. I've played with it a little bit, and they do not want to go in. So let's see if I can get them to go in. But we will take a look at the figure. And right off the bat, the face sculpt. Very, very nice. Typically with the animated characters from the Clone Wars, they kind of try to make them more realistic, but I think they did a very nice job here. This looks very much like the animation to me, and I'm much happier with that. Gotta say, I'm not a big fan of when they try to make them look more realistic. I think something's usually lost in translation, but this is a very good likeness of Ahsoka. Got her little headdress and everything. Got her little tassel there. Articulation, not a lot. Her tendrils do get in the way, so she can't really look up or down very much. Just a little bit left or right, and it's also kind of more of a tilt than anything. So that is a bit of a bummer there. Does have a joint down at the bottom of her neck as well. So that helps a little, but still not a lot of head articulation. And these are pretty solid, so they don't really flex out of the way any. Arms, got a nice T-pose there, so no problem there. Do have little butterfly joints there, so that's nice. Single jointed elbows. They come up very nicely, so no complaints there. Hands swivel, and they do have up and down hinge on both of the hands, so that's nice. And they're both gripping hands. This is a little bit more relaxed grip, and this one is a little bit tighter grip, but I'm sure she'll be able to hold both lightsabers no problem. Then we have articulation down at the hip. Very nice. Nice kind of a soft rubber for the belt, and her skirt. So nice soft rubber, so that gets out of the way. We do have splits going up the side, so she can kick her leg out to the side very nicely. Going back doesn't really happen, and I just popped her leg off. So, well, wasn't expecting that to happen, but it pops right back on, so no problem. So yeah, you try to push her leg back, it's not going. Kicking forward, yeah, pretty nice. No problem there. Got some nice detailing here. Got her leg showing through the cuts in the side of her pants. Single jointed knees, but still kicks up very nicely. And then where her leg goes into the boot, there's a swivel. So that's nice. No hip cut, but it does swivel up in the ball joint of the hip. You can see that. So that explains why that came off so easily. Very large cuts in the top of the leg there. The boot kicks down very, very far, so that's good. Coming back up, not so much. Doesn't really go up any more than that. So yeah, decent amount of articulation, especially in the legs. So I can't really complain there. About the only restriction is the kickback and the head. But like I said, let's try to get one of these lightsabers in her belt. The blade pulls out. Nice long peg to go in there. And they are cut, if you can see. There's a little bit of a cut there in the tip of the lightsabers to go around these indents in the blade. But I'm going to try to get this to go in her belt. I tried it before I turned on the camera and it did not want to go. So let's see if I can get it to go in there. It might require the use of a tool or something. I don't know. Let me grab a little screwdriver here. Give me something to push against. There we go. That does not want to go in there. Come on, cooperate. There it goes. So yeah, once you get it in, it's in. It's not going back out, but it is a challenge to get it in there. But just get a little screwdriver or something, stick behind it so you have something a little more firm to push against, and it'll go in. It's just a little bit tricky. But yeah, there we go. Like I said, very nice face sculpt, nice sculpting details like the belt. So very accurate to the animation. Got some little buckles on the belt down through there that are painted. So that's a very nice detail. So yeah, it's a very good looking figure. I'm very happy with it. Gonna pose it up and I'll give you my final thoughts. Well, I was playing with it a little bit more and I missed a point of articulation. Up at the top of the knee is some articulation as well. So lots of swivel there. So do be careful because it's easy to get the boot split around like that and have the knee facing the wrong direction. So it's very tight going down into the boot, but I did want to point out that little bit of extra articulation at the top of the knee. Now let me get it posed up. All right, got Ahsoka all posed up, and I have to admit, not the easiest figure in the world to pose. Those small feet do make it a bit of a challenge to get her to stand up, and the joints at the top of the knees, at least on mine, were pretty loose. So keep that in mind when you're trying to pose. The limited head articulation is also a bit of a challenge. And also the left hand, that kind of relaxed grip, does make it a challenge to hold that lightsaber. So as cool as the figure looks, it is not without its problems. That is for sure. I did manage to get her in a pretty cool looking pose that I am happy with. But the more dynamic poses I was hoping for, getting her down in like some sort of a squat or something, I just couldn't get it to work. The joint was too loose in her knee. The lack of her foot being able to hinge upward really prevented me from getting her down in a good squat position. So again, very cool looking figure. I do wish the articulation was a little bit better. Still, it's your call. I am very happy with it still. Very happy to get this version of Ahsoka in my collection. Love the Clone Wars. A big fan of Ahsoka Tano. So I am willing to overlook the flaws just to have this in my collection. But again, I do wish some of those joints were a little bit sturdier, and maybe the tendrils on her head were just a little bit softer, so it made it easier to pose her head. But as of right now, you just really can't do much with that head sculpt. But hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications. Really appreciate your support. But that's all I've got for today. I will see you guys next time around.